Hi everyone, this is Mahmoud Sheikh, and from last video I'm discussing on various categories of system calls. In my last video I completed the discussion on the categories of system calls related to process management and file management. Okay, and in this video I will discuss about what are those system calls that operating system generates to perform the activities related to devices in a computer and to perform the activities of information maintenance within a system. Okay, so now the third category of system calls are system calls for device management. Okay, so in this category we will see what are those set of system calls which operating system generates to maintain or to manage various devices which are connected to the computer. Okay, and those system calls are request system call. Okay, so if at any point of time any process wants to request any device, or if any process wants to access any device, it can be an input device or any output device. Okay, at that time then it's the responsibility of the operating system to generate a system call to allocate that device to that process. Okay, and next system call is release input or output device. Okay, suppose any process has already using any input or output device, and now that process no longer required that input or output device. Now it's the duty of the operating system to release that input or output device from that process. So for releasing that device from that process, operating system needs to generate a system call, and that system call will be release input or output device system call. Okay, so if any point any process wants to attach to any device, then it will use attach system call, and detached a device system call. At any point of time any process wants to disconnect from any device, then it will make use of this detach system call. And then there is read and write a file system calls, which are used to read the information from the device or write the information into the device. Okay, so these are the two system calls which operating system uses whenever any user wants to read any information from the file, or any user writes information into the file. Okay, so these are the system calls related to devices. Okay, so now we will move on to the fourth category of system call, which is system calls related to information maintenance. Okay, so as we know that we store different types of information inside the system, and also we manage those information. Okay, whenever we required we get that information. Okay, and there are certain system calls whose responsibility is to maintain that information. Whenever user want that information, whenever user wants to see that information, then operating system needs to generate its appropriate system calls. Then only those information can be easily readable by the user. Okay, and those system calls are get date, time, and system data. Okay, if I want to get the date in my system, if I want to see the time in my system, if I want to get the data of my system related data, then a system call gets generated. Okay, and those system calls are get date system call, time system call, system data system call. Okay, and then if I want to set any date or time and system data, then also these are the various system calls which gets generated. Okay, if I want to get any file, or if I want to execute any process, or if I want to get the details of any device, if I want to view the attributes of any device, then these are the system calls which operating system generates. Okay, for giving us the information. Okay, and if I want to set any file, or if I want to execute any process, or if I want to set the attributes of any device, then these are the various system calls which operating system generates. Okay, so these are the system calls related to maintaining the information inside the system. Okay, now we will move on to the last category of system calls, which is system calls for communication management. Okay, so we connect various devices to our system. We connect to different computers with our system. Okay, at that time we make communication. Once we establish the communication with other devices, we can share the data between those devices. Okay, so for performing those sharing activities as well, we have to generate system calls. Operating system needs to generate system calls. Okay, and those system calls are create a connection, delete a connection. Okay, whenever two devices wants to communicate with each other, then first thing it needs to perform is to establish the connection between these two devices. Okay, so performing the connection between these two devices, operating system needs to generate its appropriate system calls, and those system calls are create system call. And if I want to delete the connection, then it will make a call to a delete system call. Okay, if I want to send any data to any other device connected with my device, then I can make use of send system call. If I want to receive any information from any other connected device, then I can execute this receive message system call. Okay, if I want to attach any device, or if I want to detach any remote device, okay, so then I can make use of this attach or detach remote device. Okay, if and then transfer status information. Okay, if I want to transfer the status of my connectivity to somewhere else, then I can make use of this transfer status information system call. Okay, so as I have told you in my earlier videos where I have discussed about system calls, if I want to perform any activity on a computer, then operating system needs to generate system calls for performing those tasks. Okay, so this is a complete explanation regarding system calls, an explanation on system calls, various categories of system calls. Okay, and what are those various system calls which are used by the operating system to perform various types of activities in a computer. Okay, so I hope you understood each and every point of this concept of system calls. Okay, and that's all for this video. If you like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.